What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Struggle to Strength podcast, your source for real-life application on how to turn your struggles into strengths in all things mind, muscle, and money. I am your host, Josh Levine, and I am joined here by my longtime friend and my co-host, Travis Hatch. And today, we are joined by the one and only Kylie Larson of Lift to Get Lean to talk about ownership and how reaching your goals really isn't that hard. You're just making it hard. So we're here to tell you how to change that. As always, Kylie and I and Travis as well have an awesome time just kibitzing. That's a new Yiddish word that she taught me that I definitely should have known. So sorry, Mom. Y'all have probably seen Kylie often as she's one of my clients and has been with me for years. We always have an amazing time together. And I think that shines through very well in this episode. So before we get into it, we ask that if you do love this episode, please give us 5 stars on Apple or a follow on Spotify. Share us on your socials. Share us with your friends. You can find me at Josh Levine Fitness. You can find Travis at Travis Hawks Media. That's it. Get ready for your wake up call, y'all, because it's about to go down here in episode 19. Let's go.
Let me just sync these real quick for the editor, James. What's up?
Oh, what's happening? How are you, Kylie?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. We're half testing audio and we're half
Getting ready.
What's the
I think
word?
it's probably good.
What are we doing?
Kibitzing.
We're kibitzing?
Kibitzing.
It's like I should know this word.
Yes, Josh.
No, I know I'm a bad Jew. Sorry, Mom.
What is kibitzing?
I'm schwitzing,
It's
I'll tell you that.
Chatting back and forth.
Kibitzing is like chatting back and forth, which I just learned. And schwitzing is what I'm doing because I didn't know what kibitzing is.
Is that schwitzing?
Schwitzing
sweating?
is like sweating. I'm like, I'm shook. I'm a little shook. I should have known what kibitzing is. I originally thought...
Kibitzing got me schwitzing.
Kibitzing got me schwitzing. I think that the Jews were the ultimate rappers.
Oh, yeah.
Yiddish is the ultimate rap language. Yeah. It's like how Eminem rhymes everything with everything. That's just Yiddish. So, okay. Well, now that we're kibitzing, I'm not even going to say that right. We have Kylie Larson here in the studio today, and I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming that we've been meaning to have you on.
I know.
It's been forever. And we basically have podcasts in every one of our personal training sessions anyway.
Yes, it is. I call it a mastermind.
It's a mini mastermind.
Yes.
Yeah, every single time. So finally, I was like, what are we doing? Just get Kylie in the studio. Yeah. So you guys, probably, honestly, a lot of you know Kylie. She's one of my clients. She is also a coach and founder of the Lift to Get Lean program. So I'm not going to introduce you for you.
Oh,
I'm going to let you do it.
I got to do it.
I'm going to let you do it because I don't want to miss anything.
Oh, man.
You're so much more than just Kylie Larson, Lift to Get Lean.
Dude, I know. How much time do we have?
Yeah. We got 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
We got 40 minutes. So the first 20 will be Kylie's intro.
So hold on. I prepared a routine. So yeah, I'm Kylie Larson. I am a client of Josh's, and we've been together for like 2 years.
At least, yeah.
At least.
5 ever.
Yeah. And I hope we can talk just a skosh about how you've helped me in my training when we get into all that stuff. But so yeah, I'm the founder of Lift to Get Lean. Nutrition is my specialty. I am not a personal trainer. I am strength training's biggest fan though. And so on my staff, I've been able to grow this team. And so I do have a personal trainer on staff who does my programming and all of that. And I've just grown my company from one small little 6-week program into something that's so much more than that now. And really personal development is where it's at. I use the nutrition and the strength training as like the vehicle to get you in there. But then just like any, I think, good coach will do, gives you the tools so you can really take ownership of your life.
Yes. And that's a great segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is taking ownership of your shit. And, you know, Kylie's right. Part of what we love as coaches is I'm not just here to change your body. Right. I'm not just here to get you abs. I'm here to change your life. Mm-hmm. Like you tell me shit that you've done in your life that is a product of you getting better and focusing in the gym and prioritizing your sleep and your digestion and doing all the things that Kylie and I tell you to do. That is what lights me up way more than you like getting kind of lean.
Yeah.
Unless you get like really shredded, I like that. Or huge, I'm into that. Yeah.
Well, and I think the other flip side of that too is I think sometimes that goal seems really far off for someone. They're like, I'll never be able to get that lean or get that shredded. But I like to ask them the questions. So tell me about something else you've done in your life that's been really, really hard. Like maybe you got your PhD, or maybe you graduated from nursing school, or maybe whatever else hard you've done. Like, you can do hard things. So let's apply it to this because it's in you.
Yes.
And also like what's next? Like like let's say you are a PhD, afterwards did having that piece of paper change your life, or did you have to like, you're kind of starting from zero? Because that's what I've heard like entrepreneurs talk about that a lot. Like, someone who's a billionaire, they're like, okay, you make $100 million and then it's like,
now what?
Yeah. Like,
always.
What's next?
Yeah. So fitness, I imagine, would be the same thing. It's like you reach that goal and then like, that's not the answer to all your problems.
It doesn't
just
end.
one problem solved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every goal achieved is another goal set. And so people need, yes, it's great that clients come to us and they have really strong goals, but that's not the end. Celebrate the small win, but you've got more. Like you said, like, you make your first 100 million, or for like whatever, more realistically,
First million.
For most people, first million, honestly, first 100 grand. Yeah. Chelsea and I talked about this in a recent Facebook Live. Yeah, you make your first 100 grand and you're like, cool. 6 figures is cool. What's 7 like? I guess. Yeah, sure. 7. Okay, we'll go 7. So yeah, every goal achieved is another goal set, but you're right. You can't let that goal seem like it's so far away. You've done harder things.
Absolutely have done harder things.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even the hard thing. You and I were talking about, I used the analogy of flossing your teeth. Flossing your teeth is the easiest fucking thing to do in the world. It takes less than a minute. But when your dentist tells you to floss your teeth, why is it so hard? It's way easier than changing your entire life to like put together a health and fitness routine.
Or getting a root canal.
Yeah. And honestly, some people, not myself, had to wait for a lot of cavities or something bad to happen to be like, oh, maybe I should start flossing my teeth.
Oh, but that same thing applies. Someone has to have a heart attack in order to, oh my gosh, I finally need to start working out and stop smoking, stop eating fast food, etc. Some people need that.
Yeah. Some people
unfortunately.
Yeah. But we're here to make it easy.
Yeah.
Like it's not supposed to be that hard.
It's not, and it doesn't have to be. And I think that's one thing I'm trying to get through to people. Also, just that mindset shift, just understanding it can be easy. The effort is required. That's the hard part. The effort is required, but what you have to do is not that hard.
No. Flossing your teeth is easy. It just takes effort.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting into a health and fitness program is not that hard. It just takes effort because it's different.
I think what's hard about it though is that everything else in their life around that thing is hard. So it's like people feel maxed out.
Well, it's a matter of priorities.
You can't put like one drop of water is one drop of water, but if a cup's full, like it's hard to put more water in there. Well, you have to like get a bit bigger cup.
You also can't, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's where the difficulty comes from.
See more often.
It's because they're not like most people. I don't even know if that's true, but I would say most people at least feel this way. No, it is. Yeah. I mean, this is what it is. It's their perception. Most people feel maxed out, and like your maxed out is different from this person's maxed out, from this person's maxed out. But all of those people feel maxed out, and I think one of the mindset shifts is increasing their understanding of maxed out. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, and that's where probably where the difficulty comes in. Because if they were like, I've got tons of drive and nothing but time, it's like, yeah, of course you just work out all day, but that's not how people feel. They're like, I work 70 hours a week, and I can't even handle that. Like, how am I supposed to work out on top of that?
Well,
you know what I mean? Even though for sure you can.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard, but it feels like you're 10 pounds of shit in a 9-pound bag, I guess.
Yes. And that's why I think a lot of it comes down to your priorities. So Kylie, you probably see a lot of clients that don't put themselves as a priority.
Absolutely.
Like they're taking care of their kids and they're making food for their family and they're making sure the house is clean and they have a job on top of it, or, whatever it is, you're like, okay, where are you?
Right.
So what do you do? What do you do with those people?
So one thing that I love is I encourage them to say no. That's really hard for a lot of people. But then also I use this analogy so let's say you're a lawyer. Okay. You have this crazy case, you're working all those hours, you're working the 70 hours. You can't just say, I'm out for a while, I'm not going to focus on this, because it's your job. Okay, so you've got that going on. Then you've got your kids who knows what's happening with your kids, but they're demanding a lot of your energy as well. You can't just say, I'm not going to be a parent this week. So why is it okay for us to put our own personal health and well-being on the back burner? I'm not going to focus on this right now. I'm going to wait. Like, we have to get out of that. And that's really what I try and get them to see, reducing the load and breaking it down. So for that person that's working 70 hours a week, I wouldn't even have them start with the workouts, right? I would make it one smaller step and just focus on food and maybe even just protein to begin with.
Just hit your
one
protein.
Small thing.
Yep.
Because I think the overwhelm that you're talking about, that's the other thing. So my thing is, I can't clean my house. And I think of my house as someone's body who needs an overhaul. And I look around and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start and what to do. I'm just going to go sit on the couch. Nothing ever changes. Nothing gets done. But if someone were to tell me, okay, Kylie, today all you have to do is put the dishes in the dishwasher. Like, okay, I can do that today. So I try and break it down. That's how I handle the people putting themselves higher on the list.
I think that's great. And to Travis's point, I mean, you and I have pretty different clientele.
Yes.
And so my welcome email and the way that my onboarding is structured is pretty intense. Like, it's pretty in depth. You've been with me since way before I had the welcome email, but it's a lot. And so I think people who are not quite ready to work with me, they get overwhelmed because I work with intermediate to advanced level trainees. And if you don't already at least have a semi-basic understanding of what's important in your life, what's important in your diet, what's important for your training, then you're going to be really overwhelmed when I tell you that, I want you to try to take this many steps a day. I want you to hit this much protein, this much carbs, this much fat. And I want you to get these many training days in. And I want you to prioritize digestion. And we're going to have to pay attention to that. And then you have to check in with me once a week. Like, it's in depth. So if you're already having trouble hitting your protein, it's going to be a lot. Now, that being said, I'll meet you where you're at.
Exactly.
Always going to meet you where you're at. If you come on board and you have to start by hitting protein and calories, sure, fine. But I think that goes along with, the client shouldn't make it that hard, but we also can't make it that hard.
Absolutely. And helping the client understand that those small things really do add up.
They add up.
They mean a lot. So, this past year, the past 15 months have been a lot for a lot of people. And every time I hear from a client, I honestly can't believe what all they're dealing with. And I would hate to pile more stuff on them, but they've hired me to help them. So that's what we do, right? We meet them where they're at. If maybe nutrition isn't even what we can focus on right now, but we can focus on sleep. There's always something that you could focus on, and just that one thing.
Yep. So we were talking about the things that you can focus on. All you really need to do is hit your macros, prioritize sleep, prioritize digestion, and train. Steps will come, right? Obviously, we want people to be moving. Don't be sedentary. But if you can just do those 4 things, you're going to be way ahead of everybody else. You're going to be way ahead of where you used to be, even if we just get you to sleep and digest your food better. Yeah. We don't have to do all those 4 things at once, like you said. Sometimes people come to us, we're just like, okay, we're going to fix your sleep. Going to fix your digestion. And that's usually a pretty easy part.
Yeah. The sleep, I love how you say, don't sleep on sleep. The sleep is the magic. The sleep is the magic pill, I think, that's missing for so many people. Because also, how many people do you know that are doing everything right, but they're only getting 6 hours of sleep, but they're not taking rest days, or I guess they're not doing everything right if they're not taking rest days. But sleep could be that thing. I had a client today who was saying, she's doing all the things, but she still is just feeling not that great, not seeing changes. And I said, let's list out, tell me all the things that are stressors in your life. And then I want you to tell me all the things that are filling you up. She's like, oh my gosh, it's staring me right in the face. I'm planning for a wedding and I've got a shitty ex-husband and I school and this. I'm like, yep. Let's focus on sleep.
Yeah.
And recover from that.
And I think that's where doing too many things comes in, because if
that's all the things.
If you can't sleep 8 hours a night, or 9 if you need it, without feeling really guilty because you can't get enough done the next day by working from 8 a.m. to 6, 7 p.m., then that's probably where one of the problems is. Are you doing too many things? If you do have that job and kids and family and whatever else, and you've got like 2 side businesses. It's like, well, maybe get rid of one of those side, or get rid of your real job, like whatever it is. I think a lot of people, cause that's my, like one of my biggest problems too, is just doing too many things.
Mm-hmm. And that's usually whenever somebody says that to me, like, I swear I'm doing all the things, and I'm like, stop. Cause that's too many. All of the things is way too many things. So we need to cut back on some things. And that can be hard for people. But I think if we dive a little bit deeper into what some of these things are, some of these things have, like, obviously, like, optimizing your digestion is not just it's not just optimizing your digestion. No. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You have to track your food. You have to pay attention to how it feels. There's a lot that goes into that one thing, which is why it can seem overwhelming. So we focus on one thing at a time. What's the number one struggle that you see most of your clients face when they're focused on even just one of these things? Take like sleep or digestion, for example.
I would say with digestion, slowing down while eating, because they are so busy, right? Everyone's rushing while they eat. And I will also admit, I can't really remember the last time I ate a meal that I wasn't behind a screen, whether that be a television,
Same.
A computer, or a phone.
I'm bad. I drive when I eat sometimes.
I ate lunch on the way over here.
Same.
Yeah, it's bad.
So
do as we say, not as we do.
But also understand we're human.
Yeah.
And so we get it. So that's one of the biggest things, just slowing down. And with the taking things off the plate, I think so many of us, even men, are afraid of letting other people down. We are afraid of saying no, because if we say no, will they still like me? Will they still love me? It's so much more than just wanting to do all of those things.
It's a lot.
Because we're all like hustling for worthiness.
Yeah. And especially, men have much more of a problem with that, don't they?
I don't know. I mean, I might be even across the board. I just know it's a big thing. Like, I have a friend very much like you, and she's so good at everything that she does too, but it's hard for her to take something off because she wants to be there for everyone. How do you choose what to take off?
How do you manage your priorities like that? How do you manage your priorities like that? I don't.
I don't. Yeah. I don't even know how to answer that question. What I do is I have insane, like I have insane guilt about like failing at things, or not guilt. It's like, I have for me, like my mental is like a system of checks and balances. So I have, and luckily I have it pretty even on both sides, but it's like a roller coaster back and forth. So I'll go from like, doing too many things and being like, having that like pressure of like, I can't like fail or like let the people down around me, until I get to like a breaking point where I'm just like, fuck it. Yeah. And I just chuck half of them out the window. And I'm like, you know what? People they can still like me, or they can not. You can fuck off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I have this back and forth, but like, yeah, I think a lot of it does come from that. Like there's so many things that I want to do. There's just too many things. Like there's no way I'm going to do everything that I want to do in my lifetime. It's impossible.
Kylie,
there's so many things. There's so many lives I want to live all at the same time.
Yeah. And you can't.
I want to be like 3 different people.
I can relate to that.
What the hell?
And that's from like a very high scale, high level point of view, where you're doing a lot of high level things for a lot of people. Whereas a lot of times in health and fitness, it's just about doing things for yourself. And you were talking about your house is a mess, dude. I literally just did a Facebook Live about how, my house is a mess. Yeah. And I'm okay with it. Yeah. Like, I'm okay with it. My house is a mess because the other things are more important to me.
Your house also is really not that messy.
It to me, it right. feels like it is what anxiety looks like to me.
But on a scale of like my house, because Jordan lives there. To hoarder, you're like right.
I'm right next to Jordan.
Below our house.
Okay, that's because Jordan and I are both OCD as fuck.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, my suitcase from Moab last week is still in my bedroom. Clothes are all over the floor. They're not going to get folded. Yep. I brought new clothes up there. They're not going to get folded. The dishes are in the sink. They're not going to get put away. The dishes in the dishwasher aren't going to get put away. And I'm okay with that, because the other things that are in my life are more important to me out of my list of priorities of what I want to get done to help me get closer to my goals. As far as I'm concerned, none of those things matter. And honestly, like, I don't know, whoever does the laundry in your house, like your kids can do the laundry.
Yeah, I don't fold anybody's clothes but my own.
Yeah, make that.
You don't want to be married to me.
Too much time. Takes too much time. I'm surprised you even fold your clothes.
Yeah,
I don't even do that.
You know, it's
not,
a loose thing.
Yeah.
If they're not taking something off of your plate, don't take something off of theirs.
That's
Absolutely.
a good life lesson.
Because like this is the way I think about like a unit, like whatever you want to call it. If you're in a relationship or you have a family or whatever, if you're not single, like that first like 6 months is like dating, but after that you're like a team. After a certain while you're a team, and the whole like doing everything like it just doesn't make sense. Either there's a certain amount of things that need to get done and there has to be an efficient way of doing them. So yeah, either like if you guys don't have like certain roles, whereas like you do all of the house cleaning and then your husband or partner or girlfriend or whatever does all of the laundry, you know what I mean? Like that's fine, but like you can't do everything while they do nothing.
Right.
There has to be like a balance, and it's either everybody takes care of their own stuff or you guys have certain things that you do.
And I think the big part of that also is communication. And that's with everyone. So if people understand what your priorities are, they're going to understand. So my husband is a good example of this. He meets with his trainer on Mondays and Wednesdays. He told his boss, I'll be in at 9 because I meet with my trainer on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7.
That's awesome.
So Peter knows Pat will be there at 9, not at 8. And that's the expectation now that's been set. And I think we can, as long as we do that to other people in our life too, like it's important to me that I am able to go on a walk after dinner. Can you do the dishes? I think that's really great. Just communicating priorities to other people so that they're not like, I wonder why does she always leave after dinner? What should I be expecting of her?
She's just selling crack out back.
Yeah, it's way better to have the conversation than just to like wait until people catch on to the fact that that's what you do, which I think a lot of people do. They just live their lives and they wait. And I've definitely been guilty of it.
Oh yeah.
And actually we were talking with another Kylie who was on our podcast recently about when people start just to expect that you're going to prioritize your health and fitness. You're going to eat healthy. You're going to weigh your food. You're going to go for a walk after dinner. You're going to go to the gym. And how refreshing that is when people expect that of you and don't try to get you to do the opposite.
Yeah.
So if you have the conversation up front, that is so much easier.
Like when you were on vacation and your parents were like, oh, I bet you're going to need to go to the gym, Josh.
Yeah.
So it's as it becomes who you are. So this becomes your identity. Like you are that fit friend. They know, oh, Kylie's not going to have pizza tonight. She eats dinner at home before we get together. Like, yeah, I don't have to explain myself. No one hassles me. That's just me. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Just own who you are.
Own who you are. And they expect that of you, whether or not you've had the conversation. At this point, you're fit Kylie.
Right.
You're Kylie Fit Yoga.
Right.
Like
Yes.
people understand that of
Yes.
you. But you can still have the conversation with people so that they know what to expect. And then like you said, own it. Be that fucking person.
A lot of people, I don't know if you ever get this from your clients or anything, but a social engagement will come up. Or this happened recently to someone in the teacher's lounge. Someone came up to one of my clients and said, why are you eating a salad, Tracy? And that gets under people's skin.
Yeah, you're immediately on your heels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Immediately. And, she's like, how do I deal with this? And she's a strong woman. Like Tracy says what's on her mind. But it got under her skin. And I'm like, if it's getting under Tracy's skin, this is getting under other people's skin. Like, if you are unapologetic in what you are, in who you are, people stop asking. It becomes less of a big deal. And I got this from this book. What's the name of the book? Oh, it's from The 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. And that's one way. If you just are upfront about who you are and you tell people what they can expect, they're not going to hassle you.
Also, I love those people.
Yes.
Like those people are awesome to be around where they're just unapologetically themselves and they don't explain anything. They don't have to. You're like, oh, that's just the way they are.
Yep.
And they own it. They 1000% own themselves. And everybody who's listening knows some of these people and you love those people.
Absolutely. Like a Chelsea Handler comes to mind. If you're like, I don't know anyone like that. Like Chelsea Handler. She owns who she is.
She's hysterical.
She's so funny.
Yeah, she is hysterical. That's really funny. So you just got to own your shit, but you can also have the conversation about it.
Well, and that is ownership.
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Ownership. I mispronounced it. I said own your shit.
Oh, that's not how you spell it?
That's not, yeah, you spell ownership.
I thought it was 3 different words.
It's on a shit.
I'm on a ship?
But yes, that is ownership. People need to get better about taking ownership of their shit. Really. Whether good or bad.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. Fuck up on your diet, own it. Like going on a vacation with your family, own that you're going to be a fit person. And a lot of people, when they they want to be healthy and fit, and they have an idea of what their end goal looks like, just be that person already. That, like, if you want to get to your goal faster, if you want to be a fit and healthy person, don't like try to figure out what you can do and what you don't do and what you can get away with. Don't try to do all the things. Just do what you know fit and healthy people do. Look at what Kylie does. Do what she does.
Right. You're at 7-Eleven. You have 2 choices. You get the Doritos or you get the Quest bar. What would a healthy person do?
Yeah, what would a fit and healthy person do?
Easy breezy.
Fucking protein, bro.
Protein, bro, and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, and a Diet Coke. Yeah, for sure. If you're in prep, you do Diet Coke. Diet Coke or Coke Zero?
I'm a Diet Coke gal.
You're a Diet Coke? What about you? When was the last time you had a soda? I feel like we don't really drink soda.
I drink soda.
I drink it occasionally, but I get soda once in a while with Chipotle. I like the Coke Zero.
Ooh, Coke Zero?
Yeah.
It's so weird that they taste the same but different.
I know.
Yeah, it's wild. So do Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke.
It's so, yeah, well, that's very different.
Do you want to know a fun fact about Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
So Coca-Cola, the reason why Pepsi can't taste like Coca-Cola is because back in like the 1800s, something like that, Coca-Cola was made with cocaine.
Yes.
And
The good old days.
The good days.
Yeah, the good old days. And so they had a license for producing and distributing cocaine, and they still have that license today.
What?
And Coca-Cola is made with real cocaine today.
What?
Yeah, you can look this up. There's a plant in the Midwest, I think it's like in Ohio, that produces all of the legal medical cocaine, which isn't that much, but it's like millions of dollars worth of like medical cocaine. Because cocaine is actually still prescribed to some people.
Yeah, I was going to ask how and what
This
for?
is all real, by the way.
How
this
do
sounds
I
made
get
up,
that
not.
prescription?
Yeah, I don't know. Any doctors out there have that?
I'm narcoleptic.
Yeah.
If anybody asks.
But it is possible. And I think it's mainly used for like tests or whatever, but all of the cocaine supposedly that's used for like legal medical purposes is all produced at this one factory, which is owned by like a subsidiary of Coca-Cola or someone who's like associated with them. And the leaves are then used to create Coca-Cola. So it's basically like non-activated cocaine. So they create the cocaine and then use the leaves to create Coca-Cola. So like part of the taste that you taste is coca leaves.
Coca leaves.
Yeah.
No shit.
It's part of like the coloring,
No wonder.
the flavoring.
No wonder I like it so much.
Yeah, isn't that
I
crazy?
just can't get enough.
This tastes so familiar.
It tastes so familiar. Yeah. Oh, it smells the same too. I was just testing for consistency.
Yeah.
That's why it's so fizzy.
Josh is going to go buy a 30 rack of Coca-Cola after this.
How much Coca-Cola do I need to drink
back
to
in
get
the
high?
game.
Yeah. I'll be outside the Quick Mart slinging Coca-Cola. Be like, I got that good shit. Diet Coke or Coke Zero? What you want?
Heard on a
What you
podcast
want?
it's made with real cocaine.
Yeah. You drink 30 of these, you'll be feeling real good.
That's just because there's about 15,000 grams of sugar in 30 of them.
Yeah, it's not the cocaine. No. You're sugar high. You're gonna fall asleep in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's really funny. It's funny that I think people probably just don't think we drink soda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, to not make it so hard, people I think would be surprised about how loosey-goosey I am with my nutrition. I mean, I'm dialed in, don't get me wrong, but I'm not neurotic. Like, I enjoy myself and I don't stress over things. When you're in a fat loss phase, that means different things, and you have to be more, I guess, rigid for lack of better terms, or more precise. But I just don't sweat things, and I wish people would understand that if you just keep doing this long enough, you get enough interest in the bank that you have more wiggle room, and you don't have to be so strict with yourself all the time. Because that's another barrier to entry, I think. People are like, oh, I'm going to have to do this forever.
Am I gonna have to eat like this forever?
I mean, an iteration of it.
Yeah, kinda.
Like, well, yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah, like, yeah. What do you mean? Like,
Do you want to die?
like, do you mean like you're gonna have to put food in your mouth and chew it and swallow it forever? Like, yeah, probably. Yeah,
but I mean, that's
I've
the
only
same
eaten
argument
a few
as
other
like,
ways.
as like getting off of like drug addiction. Be like, do I have to not do heroin every day
Forever?
forever? Like, yeah. Yes. The answer
Kinda.
is yes.
Kinda. I have my own opinion on that. I think
If it's a problem, if it's not, do a bump once in a while. Who
that's
cares?
what I'm saying.
If you
That's
could
what I'm
moderate
saying.
it.
I was talking to this guy, Chris Sexton. Shout out to Chris from
You have a Coca-Cola
NCI.
every once in a while.
Yeah, you have Coca-Cola every once in a while.
Yeah.
You don't have to like be
not a problem for
complete.
you.
Not every addict has to be completely sober. So like you enter in, it's like if you still have a good handle on it, like yeah, just get in the right mindset. Same thing goes for your diet. Not everybody who starts a health and fitness program has to be eating nothing but chicken and rice and broccoli and miserable and hating their lives and avoiding the foods that they love. That's not it, fam.
That's the opposite of it.
That is the opposite. That is miserable. And this is coming from like pretty jacked people.
Yeah.
Like this is coming from the people that you probably want to look like. I'm not just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But a lot of people, they go into a health and fitness program or they start a nutrition program and, oh no, I can't have that. I can't. No. You can have it. You're choosing not to. You're choosing not to, but you can have it if you want. All it's got to do is fit your macros.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can have a drink.
And, you know, I think something to remember is that if you choose to do this, you're doing this to make your life better. And so it's all going to be worth it. But if you're doing it to make your life better, you don't have to say goodbye to those things forever. I always say, like, a life without ice cream, I don't want part of it.
No.
I'm not wanting
I
that
am
Not
life.
interested.
I had half a
Next.
pint of Ben & Jerry's last night.
Yes.
I ate half a pint of Ben & Jerry's last night.
See,
and it was,
look at this.
I woke up, still have abs. Went to bed feeling huge too. Had a really good body image night.
He
after I
woke
went
up
to
with
bed.
abs glazed with glucose.
Glazed with glucose. I did not check my fasted blood glucose this morning. But no, we eat the way we want to eat. We hang around. I just heard this new term. I told you about this.
Yeah.
Non-athletic regular people, NARPs. So, shout out to Emery for telling me that term. But yeah, you hang around NARPs and they're like, oh, like you don't eat like cereal, do you? Like, do you eat like ice cream? I'm like, yeah, I eat the same food you do. I just eat a lot more of it and in different amounts.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't get off my back with that. Give me the ice cream. Give me the ice cream. It's not that hard. You're making it so much harder than it has to be. You're ruining it. You're trying to, like you said, you're trying to make your life better. And in the process, you're making it so much more difficult and you're becoming miserable because you're limiting and restricting things. And then eventually you're going to pop and you're going to go on a huge binge and you're going to eat everything in sight. And then you're going to feel like shit about yourself. And then you're going to repeat that cycle over and over and over again. Why don't you just let yourself the freedom to eat what you want in the amounts that your coach prescribes based on your macros, focus on your digestion, focus on sleeping well, train as hard as you can in the gym. And that's another one. As hard as you can.
Nobody knows what that means.
Nobody knows what that means. No, people think if you're listening to this podcast and you think you're training hard, you're not.
Josh burst a blood vessel. He was training so hard.
In my inside, not like in my eye. A lot of people have burst blood vessels in their eye. Did I tell you this, Travis?
No.
Okay, so
It just happened
on Monday. Okay, so I was training. I've been having a little issue with my knee, like a patellar tendon issue, and so I've been trying to figure out a way to work around it, which is another thing here. Just because you can't do one thing doesn't mean you can't do everything. So I was trying to find a way to work around it. I couldn't squat. I was getting pain on the Rogers squat machine, the Smith machine squat. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try hack squats. Hack squat felt okay. Was still getting a little bit of knee pain. I felt like I needed to take my shoes off to feel the pressure a little bit of where my foot pressure was. And between foot pressure and where the tension in my quads was, I was locked in. It felt so good. I had no knee pain. I got way too excited. And I was focused so much on the pressure in my feet and the pressure in my quads, the tension in my quads, that I probably wasn't focused enough on my breathing, realistically. And I took this set all the way to failure and beyond. And on my last rep, I had a new friend at Armbrest, Sean, who I had just met, and we were kind of cheering each other on. And he was cheering at me and yelling at me. He was really just like screaming at me to keep going, which is awesome. Love that. And on the last rep, he helped me up on it. I had failed and he helped me up. And I pushed so hard that it felt like instantly I got hit in both temples with a baseball bat. And I had the worst exertion headache of my life instantly set in. I just like laid down for like 10 minutes and then I tried to finish the rest of my workout. When
was this?
This was on Monday.
On Monday.
And
well, it's not a brain aneurysm because you're alive.
No, because I'm alive. Yeah. I was a little scared though. Like it was the weirdest thing. And I went to see my chiropractor, John Denning at Denver Sports Talks. If anybody's in Colorado and needs a really good chiropractor, highly recommend John. And he was like, yeah, dude, it sounds like you burst a blood vessel in your brain. And then Meg, I was talking to about it because she's in PA school. She was asking me all these questions. And I didn't know that a burst blood vessel was a brain bleed. I was like, I don't know anything about this shit, you know? This is like beyond my level of understanding here. Brain stuff. Yeah. But yeah, if you've never burst a blood vessel inside your skull.
Are you even trying?
Are you even trying? Yeah, long story short, my brain exploded on a set of hack squats. So how hard are you training today?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, so I have this amazing member and she just started working out at a gym where she lives. She found a strength and conditioning gym, which I think is so awesome. So she's been working out there. She is built. Like this girl looks like an athlete, right? And the first day she went to the strength and conditioning class, they were doing a squat day. She did 50 more pounds on any squat she'd ever done at home. And she has a barbell set up at home.
Oh, hell yeah.
But you just don't know sometimes. And that's why there is always going to be a place for in-person personal training, some shape or form, whatever that looks like. Because you don't know how far you can push yourself until someone is there.
Yeah, until someone's there or until you see someone pushing themselves. So when I go down into Texas, I'm going to Texas tomorrow. I'm flying back to Texas to train with my teammates. And yeah, you go there and you see people, like I see people on my bodybuilding team. My friend Alexa was here and John and Kylie. I've had a lot of teammates come here. This has been unbelievable to watch how hard these people push themselves. And you're like, you can do that?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could do that.
That's what failure means.
And like, I train hard, but you get around these other people and it's like, it gets so much more intense. So yeah, for the people who are training alone at home, check yourself. Like, are you really pushing it? Are you really digging as deep as you can? Or are you quitting before you're done? Did you fail or did you quit?
And hey, I mean, if I have 12 wide squats to do and I'm not really feeling it, I'll stop at 12 when you say 12 to 15. I'll do it.
But if I'm there,
whatever.
Yeah, if I'm there, we go. We push hard. Yeah.
We do.
But that's part of why you see me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can't always push yourself. But I also know how to push myself, just FYI.
Yeah, you can turn it on. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a valuable thing is assess your effort.
Yeah, and that still goes back to ownership. Am I really trying as hard as I can? Am I emptying the tank?
Or am I just getting by?
Yeah.
Is if you're just getting by, like think about your effort that you're giving as everything you like, gun to your mother's head, you could not do one more rep. If that's 100%, how much effort are you really giving? 60? Yeah. And if you give 60% effort, then you need to be okay with 60% results. So assess your shit. And that goes for way more than just fitness. That goes for life in general. Yeah. Assess your effort. Travis, you had something? Did we explode your brain?
My brain, I burst a blood vessel.
Well, I want to say something about that too as you're thinking. I read this great book called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. And I personally, I don't compete with anybody. And I think that's a good rule for business. I think that's a good rule for life. But I do believe in what he calls worthy rivals. So when you have an opponent who is better than you, it's not that you're competing against them. They're your motivation to level up. Like, oh, okay, I'm training with Josh today. He's where I want to be. So you're going to level up your game because you have this worthy rival who you want to get to that level. So that's kind of how I look at things.
I like that. Yeah.
Because, competition is comparison. I don't like comparison. Ew.
I love competition.
Competition, fine. Comparison.
There's definitely negative and positive competition.
Yeah.
Like everything else. Like there's a big difference between competition to to diminish other people and competition to get, like, to your point, get yourself to their level. Like, if you competing with other people in your own mind is what helps you get to gets you to the point that they're at, then that's fine. But if your point of competition is to make sure that, like, other people around you are worse than you, which is most people, that's like a toxic, bad form of competition.
Yeah.
And it's just can be easier, you know?
Yeah.
For some people, maybe it's easier, but it's just not, like, you're not actually moving anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not actually improving.
Yeah. And I also think that what you're doing to get to be able to put that much effort into something, you have to like what you're doing. So I think that like lifting heavy things is something that's pretty
hard to
universal.
I think it's hard to like for a lot of people.
I think at that level, at a certain level, it might be hard to like, but at some point it's like just contracting muscles. It's not really like a game as much as like, you know, I don't know. Maybe running is similar. I don't really know, but like, I think to push it to a certain level, you really do have to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to wake up, like, not just fitness, but in your life. If you're trying to like build a business, you can't wake up at like 6 a.m, 7 days a week, and work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks straight. If you don't like what you're doing, it's impossible. Like, you can't do that and be like actually like efficient.
Well, if you like what you're doing, then you have a hard time not doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm up at 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, okay, you got to stop working. You got to stop working. You got to stop.
Yeah. Like, you should be excited to get up and like work hard.
I also get excited, like, and this goes back to competition with yourself, at least, and it goes back to effort, is your goal in the gym every time you train is to beat the logbook. I tell you this, right? That's why I'll tell you, if you need to go up and weight, you've already done this. Your body's already done this. So competition with yourself is you need to beat logbook. So you record your lifts every single week. Every time before I lift, I walk on the treadmill, I look at what I have to beat for that day. Before every set, I look at what I have to beat for that day. And let me tell you, if I don't beat it, I am furious. I am furious. It is not a good time. I'm probably not fun to be around, but I will think about that every single day until I get to do it again. And at that point, I'm manifesting that it's going to happen. I'm visualizing, I'm manifesting. There's nothing that's going to hold me back from beating that lift, because it's all I want to do. All I want to do is beat that fucking lift. So that effort, it's not just in the gym. It's not just at home. It's not just in your relationship. Effort is like a universal thing that you have to put in. You have to enjoy what you do. You have to enjoy getting better at things. And I think that's all any of this is. It's just effort. It's just effort and ownership. Effort and ownership.
And one of my favorite quotes forever has always been, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, I love that. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Yep.
And I think that just rings true. And again, if you can master it at work, that means you can master it in the gym. If you can master it in the gym, you can master it being a parent. You're just proving to yourself the kind of person that you are. So just spread it around.
I love that. I always get I always look deep into that when I see people not put their shopping carts away.
Oh.
You don't put your shopping carts away, and I'm like, I bet you quit in the gym too.
You know what they do.
Wonder how your wife feels.
Not satisfied.
Not satisfied at home, huh? Start putting that fucking shopping cart away, bud. Yeah, and you put it in the corral. And you put it deep in the corral. And you line it up with those other shopping carts, make my OCD happy, and I'll come give you a high five. Wash my hands after, but I'll come give you a high five.
I always get confused when you find them just in weird places. Like they're in a bush.
Yeah, like what are people, you know what it is?
It's so much more effort to throw a shopping cart into a bush than it is to just roll it into a corral.
It's Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. He's putting them there because they're off the property. I mean, and he can take them and then fix them and sell them back to the supermarket.
It's got to be.
It's a business.
Oh my God, that's
Okay.
so funny.
Well, I know we're running a little bit low on time, and honestly, I feel like people just got a glimpse into what it's like to train you and I for an hour.
Yeah, it really is.
That's literally what it is. We just talk and shoot shit for an hour.
But I need that. And, that just goes to show you, like, you need your people. It's because you have to have people that fill you up. The thing is, you have things that drain you, and it's not that they're bad things. They're just things that take your energy. Then you have to have the things that fill you back up.
Yeah. Our training sessions are fill-ups.
Yeah, they're fill-ups.
Yeah.
They're inputs.
Quick gas station. Get a fill-up. All right. Well, Kylie, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
It was awesome to have you here.
Thank you.
Before you leave, I know most of my people know who you are, but for those who don't, why don't you tell people where they can find you, what you've got going on, when your next program, all of it. Give yourself the plug.
Cool. So on Instagram, you can find me at Kylie Fit Yoga. On Facebook, I am Kylie Fit. And from there, you can get a hold of me. My next program will start in the middle of May. My program, Lift to Get Lean, is an 8-week program. And right now, I'm not taking any one-on-one clients. But after my 6-week program, we have a monthly community, which is just as good as one-on-one training, and it's more fun in a group environment anyway. So find me there, and I'd love to connect.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on. I enjoyed it. And of course, I'll see you. Well, I'm going to Texas, but I'll see you next time. We're going to shoot shit again. It's going to be awesome. But thank everybody for tuning in to episode, I believe, 19 of the Struggle to Strength podcast. We will see you next week.